Alrighty folks, welcome back to the garage. So in today's episode of crap we have to deal with, well, let me show you what we got. You might recognize old Green. I've been dealing with the brakes on this thing. What we ended up having, I believe I told you, remember the brakes would slam? What we ended up finding was the slack adjuster arm and everything had come undone and was sliding around in the drum. And it would get jammed up in the brakes when you would hit the brakes. The only reason I figured that out, I adjusted the brakes up just to see what would happen, and then it started doing the slamming issue while I was just driving down the road. So there must have been a big enough of a gap in the brake shoes that stuff could just slide and not have issues until we actually would hit the brakes. And then since the brake shoes are on the sides of the front and the back of the rotor, and the gap between the shoes is on the top and the bottom, when you would hit, and sometimes those pieces would get slid up and catch, then we'd get that slamming issue. But so I tore that apart, did all that, put a wheel cylinder in this side. I ordered an emergency brake cable to put in this side because this cable over here is kind of stuck real bad. It ended up being the wrong cable, so I freed this cable up. It's still not great. I ordered the right cables, but when the wrong cable came in, I ordered the wrong cable, the cable came in, I hurried and tore this apart, tried the new cable, didn't work right. Went to put it back together and sheared the tab off the lock, the spindle nut retainer piece. There's supposed to be a little tab right here that engages. There's a slot right here on the bottom of the spindle that engages, so you can fold one of those tabs down over the outer nut and keep it from backing off. So I sheared that tab off. So I ordered the spindle nut retainer, I ordered the right emergency cables, got the emergency cable put in. Well, the spindle nut retainer showed up today, and guess what? We sheared that one off too. So I've gone through, I've sanded the nuts to make sure they are smooth. My socket, I got all the edges cleaned off of where it goes in, just to make sure we don't have anything grabbing that retaining thing and trying to shear that off. But here's what I found. This is from a company, I won't mention their name because they make good products, and I don't know if it's for sure their problem or if it's mine. But they make this spindle nut retainer. It's $15, almost $16. I was looking on their website and they have old stock spindle nut retainers, and looking in the description of that, they say these are 75 thousandths of an inch thick. They are heavy duty. Okay. The spindle nut retainer they make is 55 thousandths of an inch thick, and on the description of this one it says these are prone to shearing the tab off. The torque spec on the outer nut is 100 to 110 foot-pounds, but we like to go 50 to 60 because they are pretty renowned for shearing the tab off. Okay, if you have gone through the trouble of manufacturing a new spindle nut retainer, why are you making it out of material that's 20 thou thicker or thinner than an old stock spindle nut retainer? And people wonder, you know, oh, they don't believe that the parts nowadays are just garbage. Well, right there. Yes, we might have a problem shearing the tab off the spindle nut retainer, but it sure doesn't help that you've made it 20 thousandths of an inch thicker. So anyway, the second problem we're having with the green truck is the new emergency brake cable. You can see here, it lines up with the end of the old one. We'll follow it over here. It's like 2 inches shorter than the original one. The housing is longer, but the cable, let's see here. The new housing is longer. Okay, I've got our housings lined up down there. The new housing is longer, and if I line up the cable ends, the cable itself is shorter. So, the problem we have with that is this won't come up far enough. We're about 2 inches shorter, so I'm gonna have to manufacture, I need to change the other side because we can't have the two different length things here, it won't pull right. But I need to manufacture a piece that will thread onto here and that will go in this thing So it's always something. Anyway, I'm gonna tear into the other side. I'll kind of take you guys along, show you what's in there, all the black magic that goes on with your rear brakes and everything. We'll get that side put together. We'll see. Now they say you're not supposed to reuse these, but if we can reuse this one, it ain't gonna matter, because if we can reuse this one and we get that side all put together, we're still waiting on the spindle nut retainer for this side. So it's just been a total circus here. And I'm to the point on this truck where I'm either ready to take it to the scrapyard or sell it. So we'll see. If I can't get these rear axle put together, I don't know. It's just super frustrating, all the stuff you got to deal with nowadays and all the crap. So here we go. Let's get in on this side and see if we can't mess some stuff up in this side too. Well, you can see it's been wet in there for a minute here and all over the spindle. So it's probably time for a wheel seal anyway. While we're in here, gonna do a wheel cylinder. I mean, the brake shoes look fine. This drum doesn't. This drum feels brand new, doesn't have a lip on it at all. So we'll get in here, get this one all situated and figured out, and bring you along. Stay tuned. Okay, update. We got this off. I scraped all the greasy nasties off there. We have broke brake line. There's the piece of it there. So we're gonna have to build that brake line, because in my experience of ordering parts for this thing, you'll never get the right one. So we'll just build it. So I'm gonna tear all this apart. I probably won't show you too much on how to do all that stuff, just because there's good videos already out there on YouTube. But we got to get all this stuff off. This arm moves pretty good. This cable, this side is the one that did most of the emergency braking. This cable, the other side was seized up enough that unless you really got after the emergency brake pedal, it wouldn't move, but then it wouldn't release. So get all this tore off of here. Go from there, I guess. Alright, we got everything stripped off that backing plate. This thing I'll leave together till I'm ready to go back together, but you gotta, this is kind of pressed into this arm there. So we'll hammer that all apart when we're ready to put it back together. But I'm gonna start tinkering this. Tinkering with this and putting it back together, and then have to go find some brake line, see if I can get that other end off, and that's where we're at. We'll keep you updated. Alright, we got the wheel cylinder in there, shoes all back together, the emergency brake cable in it. It's just hanging off over there for now. I'll have to climb under there and dig the old one out. But this is all put together now. So when we're ready, we get those spindle nut retainers. We can go together. Need to get the wheel seal out of there, clean up that bearing, clean up the inside of that drum. I'm gonna pull the brake cable out of it right now. Not the brake cable. This brake line that I broke, pull that out of it now. Go to auto parts store, get us a chunk of brake line, get that all bent to shape and flared up and ready. And then when we get our spindle nut retainers, we should be ready to rock and roll. So I'm sure it won't be long for you guys, but I ordered those today. It's Saturday now, so hopefully hopefully by Wednesday we'll have this. So we'll catch you guys in a minute. All right, I have thrown both wheel ends back on. I've got a tire on this side just because my other jack stand is out underneath the Duramax swap. But the problem we've got, I'm still waiting on parts here. The problem we have is since the housing on the new e-brake cables was about 2 inches longer and the cable itself was about 2 inches shorter, we're short about 4 inches. This piece under here, I've got it all unhooked, but this piece has to hook to this so we can pull both of them. So either we need to make a piece that will go on here, thread onto this, and have a bolt that will come through this that will thread in so it can be taken apart to get these cables in and out. And that I think would be too much work. These two cables coming through right here aren't the emergency brake cables, they're extensions. And the emergency brake cables on the rear and then the one coming out of the cab, in theory, I think is the same length as like a regular pickup truck would have been. And then they just add the extensions in there for the different lengths of wheelbases. So they only have to make one set of emergency brake cables and one cable coming out of the cab. So they all hook together with these little clippies. I'm gonna slice them right here and just add some material in there. I'll probably add fairly thick material and not necessarily like butt weld it, but just add it on top and weld these to the backer of it, because I'm afraid if we get this too long, it will want to flex when we step on the emergency brake cable and it starts pulling. So I think I've got some 1/4 inch material around here. I'll probably just slice these and then add some and weld them in there. So hopefully they stay rigid enough. So I'll get tinkering on those. Hopefully the parts show up here. I'll let you know when they do. I gotta bend up a brake line and flare some ends on that and fix that one I broke. So there is plenty to do. There's always plenty to do. And I've only said a few curse words today and thrown 3 tools because I'm so frustrated with this piece of junk. So we'll get these extended and we'll catch you back here in a minute. Alrighty, bear with me here. So I split those things and then I just added some rod there. I believe that was 1/2 inch rod. Should be stiff enough to keep those things from walking off. So we got those done. Let me show you what I got done back here. So we've got both wheel ends together. We're just waiting on that spindle nut retainer. Got the brake line fixed and everything. So this thing's pretty much ready to go. It's probably gonna be Wednesday, a couple days before them things show up. So probably gonna get this video posted. Not much to see after we put them outer nuts on. All we gotta do is throw the tires on and we're ready to go. So hopefully we can get this thing going soon because I would love to drive it before the snow flies, seeing how it's my summer truck. So if you guys enjoyed this, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all that fancy stuff. We'll see you in the next one.